Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so glad that you are here watching my beautiful episodes of this fantastic Chrysler Grand Voyager from 2001. Stay tuned, here we go. Today's mission is that we are gonna fix the brake on the front left because I mounted it incorrectly. I need to change place on a metal clip. So that is task number 1. Task number 2 is to bleed the brakes because the brake pedal is feeling very squishy. So I think when I bled them the last time I didn't do it correctly. So I need to get some help from Benjamin and we're gonna bleed all the 4 brakes. Task number 3 is to flush the engine. And this is something I've never done before. And I got this MOT engine oil flush. So we're gonna add this to the oil that is in the car right now. We're gonna run the engine. I think it's 2000 RPMs for a bunch of minutes, 8-10 minutes or so. And then we're gonna drain the oil while it's kind of hot. So hopefully we won't burn. And then we're going to add some new oil to the engine. And hopefully we will get some carbon buildup flushed out from the engine. So let's get to it. We're going to start with the front left brake caliper. Let's see, let's put this under the car for now. So this one I mounted incorrectly. Always are a hustle to get out. And if I understood it correctly, it should be like this. So you put the clip on top of the caliper and then you press it down so it clicks in. There we go. Then everything is much more solid. That was very easy. I have to put the wheel back again because when we're going to bleed the brakes, we're going to do it the right way. If the brake cylinder is front left, we should start with the rear right, and vice versa. If it's located on the front right, we should start with the rear left tire. So we'll be right back when we are starting to bleed the brakes. Okay, so we are now going to start bleeding the brakes. Here you have the brake fluid and it looks a bit dark. So we're actually going to try to extract it first so we can put in some fresh one. And I got a saki here. It's a little bit of oil in this pipe, but as we're going to pull it out, I doesn't think it matters. If it matters, I will probably hear it in the comments, the few comments I get on my videos. So let's go. There we got some more. Oh. So now we drain the cylinder or the tank from the old brake fluid, and now we're gonna put in some new one, and I'm gonna just wing this one. No funnel or something, just some precision work here. Ooh. Maybe not. Smart idea. There we go. Let's see, I think that's pretty good level. Yep, I think that's good for now. And we keep the lid off when we bleed the brakes. So let's jump to the rear right wheel and we'll start bleeding the brakes. We removed the dust cover off the bleeding nipple and we put the plastic bottle with the with the hose on, put it on the nipple, and we got the wrench on there. So now Benjamin will pump on the brake 2 times, and then he will hold. So we'll build some pressure. Yeah. So now I'll try to release the bleeding valve. There we go. Okej. Kan trycka 2 gånger och sen hålla. Here we go. Ja. Håll kvar, håll kvar. Ja. Nu kan du släppa. Och så kan du pumpa 2 gånger och sen trycka. Tack. Håll. Tighten it. Okay, let's see. Looks pretty good. Not much air bubbles. Okay, let's do it one more time. Release. Okay, so now we can see there's not any bubbles coming out. So we will lock this up. There we go. I think that is pretty good. Okay, då kan du släppa. Let's see. And then we're gonna just get this off. There we go. Try not to spill everywhere. So now we have bled the brakes, and we got some bubbles out. It looked pretty good, and I think we got some pretty dark fluid in here. Hopefully it will be brighter or lighter fluid when we get further on this. But if Benjamin can pump a couple of times and see and feel if the pedal is getting harder. Now. Hur känns det? He said that it feels harder. So that's good. So now we will just get the wheel back on this and move on to the next one. Great work. Yes. Don't forget the dust cover. Now we are done. Make sure that you wipe off all the crap on this lid before you remove it, and make sure that you fill this tank or you keep this fluid up to level, because if you drain the fluid while you are bleeding the brakes, you will force air into the system, and that will make that you have to refill and redo all of the brakes. We had problem with one of the brakes, the rear left. That nipple was rounded, so we couldn't get it off. But as we did not work on that brake, we should not have any air in the system on that brake. Let's hope so. So now we're done. We are now gonna fill the engine with the oil flush that we bought earlier. So we're gonna fill it in, and then we're gonna start the engine. And as I said, I think it's 2000 RPM. I will write it on the video. So this is the engine oil flush that I bought, and according to the instructions, you pour it in the engine and then you will let the car idle for 15 to 20 minutes, and then you do a normal oil change. So let's do it. Okay, we are now ready. Let's see. Got the check engine light. Okay, we're now up in a bit more than 20 minutes, I think. So the oil should be...
21 minutes.
Oh, okay, 21. So the oil should be very warm. So let's jack the car up. Är det byxorna är fel på då, eller vad är det? Nej. See how it goes. Akta fingrarna. Och du kan ju bara släppa pluggen i. Så får vi fiska upp den sen. Ja. Bra. Upp. Jag tror inte skrattar på det. Jag tror inte skrattar. Ja, vi ser. Så. A little bit of leak or spill. Shit happens. Okay, is it done almost? A little bit of drip left.
Hur länge ska jag...
Ja, alltså tills det börjar rinna. Det kommer så fort du... Nej, för sig, nu har vi tömt det så kanske inte är en olja kvar. Nej, då så.
Du brukar göra skador lite här.
Ja, precis. Det är alltid i själva burken, men... Nu ser det ut att det kommer här. Nu, upp. Mm. Perfekt. De brukar vara lite schyssta. De bara, jaha, har vi skickat fel? Ja, men då får du ett nytt.
Så, kanske?
Ja, det räcker nog. Det blir jättebra. Där kom. Precis.
Jag mamma ska äta lite, för jag tror jag ska äta mig också.
Okej. Dags att komma in och sova. Perfect.
Untight.
Ja. Just snugget, hand tight. Lätt att få olja på händerna. That's good. Awesome. Nice. Very dirty boy on the car. So now we are filling up the engine again with some new fresh oil. And as you can see, this is in a much nicer color than the one that we just drained.
Så ping vidare en löpare i höger framsida bakom.
Not enough. So. Fill this up a little bit more. I think we can put in the rest of this, just a little, just some oil left. Here we go. Just a couple of deciliters. So we're out taking a cruise to see how the car feels, and the brakes are feeling much more solid than yesterday when we tried the car, and we don't have that noise that we had yesterday either, so that's awesome. I think the engine is sounding pretty good and it feels pretty good, and not this stalling thing that we had before. And the transmission or the gearbox also seems pretty good. Doesn't hesitate that much, so maybe we just needed to use the transmission a bit and get the car rolling. I can hear when I brake that is some noise from the car, from the brakes, but that's, of course, they are very old, so not that strange. But otherwise, I'm very excited. Feels pretty good. So let's see, stop here. And not any rattles from the suspension or anything. A bit hesitation when putting on the throttle, stepping on the throttle, but
vi kan det så.
So I've been to the MOT or the car inspection, and the car did not pass as I kind of thought. There is just a few issues. There are problems with the lighting. They are not correctly installed. One is a bit high and one is a bit low. Easy fix. That hook down there should not be there, and it's easy to remove as well. There was an exhaust leak. What else? It was something else that I need to fix. Yeah, the crack in the window. So pretty easy fixes, but I can feel when I'm driving the car that there's something wrong with either transmission or the engine. So I think even if I fix these small issues, there will be several more coming up. So I've decided to sell the car for $500. So that is around 5,000 Swedish kronor. Pretty cheap, but since it's some problem with the engine, I think that's a pretty good deal for me. That is about what I put into the car, and hopefully they can drive it all the way from here to where they are going. So yeah, I think that's about it for this car. It's been a pleasure owning it, standing in my car for quite a few years now. I think it's almost 2 years soon. Time flies. But I'm happy that I learned quite a lot. The most important thing that I learned is to diagnose the issue or the problem with the car before buying parts, because in the beginning I just bought parts that I thought was wrong. Didn't know actually if that part was the issue or if there was something else that was wrong. So now I'm gonna put the spare parts that I got for the car into the car and then drive it out on the driveway, and the buyer will pick it up in a couple of hours. So this is the last thing you will see with this car on this channel. But now we got room in the garage for some Range Rover, so that's very exciting. So yeah, we're saying bye-bye to this beauty. Bye-bye, beauty. And now we're going to start with other products. See you. Ciao.
I'd make Bonnie my wife, and we'd rob this whole town. Maybe take all that money, get a boat and sail down, down. where the blue, blue waters flow. Yes, this is a place I would go. We might get ourselves lost, we may never be found, if ever that day comes around.